Hi there, this is Dr. Samurai, a professor in Japan specializing in international social pathology. The topic of my today's minute lecture is Mr. Futo Charles. Okay, so let's start today's thug profile number 35. Mr. Futo Charles, I think most of you haven't heard of the name before. He was the leader of top 6 Haiti gang in Florida, and he was arrested for killing 15 people and 150 gun assaults in South Florida, and he received 65 years sentence. And one time, one of the, I think, was gunned down in a parking lot of the courthouse. So, his court hearing was conducted under very heavy police protection. For your reference, the member of the top 6 is now like 400 or so. They even had an incident in which one member did a mass shooting at a shopping mall around the Christmas season. When he heard that his sentence was 65 years, Futo himself was poker face, didn't show his emotion, but his mother was kind of old, so I think Futo was a child that his mother bore when she got kind of older. So it is said that she approached the judge, directly asked him, I am 64 years old now, and please cut the sentence shorter, otherwise I could not see him in person anymore when he is released 66 years after. And although Futo was first emotionless, but when he saw her mother do that, he showed a bit of upset. And I would like to move into the Futo Charles that I know. Like I said, I keep contacting those incarcerated people to learn things from them. To go further, I learn things from them to try to apply what I have learned from them to those dictators and dictating regimes and stuff to protect a safe and peaceful society in which everybody can enjoy once in a lifetime life on this miracle planet. That's the truth. So I wanted to learn. I thought I could learn something from Futo. That's why I contacted him. He, in his mugshot, looks really tough because he has this severe burn on his head down to his face a little bit. So I straightforwardly asked him, what happened with your burn? And this happened when I was very little. My mother put this container filled with hot water on the stove. Accidentally, it was dropped on me, and that's how I got this. Although since I was very, very little at the time, I don't remember the incident that well. That's what he said. So I go, really? What did you do to get a 65 year sentence? And he goes like, in reality, top 6 is not the gang name. Top 6 is the name of the band, that they had. And even the police came over. All that his problem was he was having a tiny bit of marijuana in his pocket. That's it. and he didn't do anything else. That's what he told me. I pretty much understand like that band Top 6 was the cover of their, activities, I think. And because he was the leader of, doing those activities. I'm not sure which, but either FBI or ATF or, local police or whatever had been targeting him well in advance. Remember, there's this social radar going on. And once you become the level that touches it, they automatically comes and arrest you in the name of public safety. All the American people know that much better than I do, but I do understand that too. Once you become the level that touches that radar, it doesn't matter whether you actually commit crime or not. They focus on taking you in and incarcerate you. They arrest you no matter what. They have this strong obsession with arresting the target once they set the person as a target. And Futo was that, although what he had was only tiny bit of marijuana at the time of the raid, the police raid. And I think my country is following that footstep too. But today we see this Black Lives Matter incidents everywhere on the news, right? And some guy was shot like 7 times from the back, just getting into his car without no guns or whatever. But that shows a tiny bit of another face of America. I have been in touch with him for over 5 years. I'm still in contact with him, although it is very occasional. He emails me. I think when I started to contact him, it was the beginning of his incarceration, maybe? Or anyway, it was not far into his incarceration, I'm positive about. Because of his appearance, tough looking appearance, it's like a Scarface Al Capone. That scar made him look very dangerous, right? And he was dangerous, I think. But the same thing is happening with this Futo too. Because of the burn that comes, down from the head to a bit of covering his face, he automatically looks very bad. Okay? So when he was transferred to the 2nd or 3rd prison, it was very bad. I think there was this rumor spread that somebody dangerous, very dangerous, is coming to this prison and stuff. And there's always a group who is in control of the prison, right? I guess they were panicked. I imagine they had, multiple meetings on how to deal with this new scary guy who is said to be very tough. But indeed, Futo is a very gentle and kind person. I am the same too, but he is rather a social type. He likes to be alone, focusing on what he likes to do kind of person. But Mexican gangs, which was controlling the prison, they didn't know who Futo really was as I do. So, I think they were scared a little, about his arrival. It is said that there are 4, big rules. I mean, could be more, but these 4 are very important to survive in prison. 1. Mind your own business. 2. Respect everybody you talk to. 3. Buy any fight that was sold to you, whether you win or lose, till the end of the fight, and show your guts to the audience. And 4, even if somebody was down by being stabbed, don't help the person because they're gonna make you the suspect. These 4 are very important, especially respect and mind your own business, and fight if you are challenged. Okay, and I have been doing this volunteer counseling at the Japanese prison for almost 20 years now. But in Japan, prisons are controlled by yakuzas. Of course, they are controlled by prison administration, but at night when after they go home, their real life in each cell is controlled by yakuzas. So on surface, we don't see many fights. We don't see many stabbings and stuff like that. Everything is controlled by Japanese mafias, yakuzas, right? But compared with that, American prison is, I think, blessed with much better equipment, air conditioners, and good facilities, and material-wise, much better than Japanese prison. But once things happens, American prison population is divided along the racial lines, right? And even if the guy who was attacked, you don't know at all, you have to support the guy, otherwise you get killed later on. That's the rule in America. All these thug friends in my thug profiles, and except for serial murder, friend and mass murder friend, those leaders of organizations are the ones who won all those fights in prison all the way, right? In other words, they are the extreme of the criminals, so to speak. And going back to the story of Mr. Futo, because of the bloated up rumor that he is very aggressive, one of the Mexican gang members attacked him. But Futo is originally, kind of big and solid guy, and he knew a bit of karate, so no way for him to be beaten. But seeing that, CEOs started to get kind of pressure to do something. They have to show they have the power to control on this newcomer, right? So they started to be kind of tough on Futo. I think Futo told me one time he was pepper sprayed over nothing. He said something like he was just following the line to go out to the yard or to go to chow hall or whatever. But anyway, the CEO intentionally closed the door right in front of his face, which was taken very offensive. So he said something, and that's why he was sprayed. But once he snaps, although he is usually asocial and gentle and likes to do things by himself, once his switch is on, nobody can stop. So he said in the end, he fought against the 16 correctional officers, and after a while it settled down, I think. And in a letter he let me know he received a kite, the kite, the miniature letter passed from rectum to rectum. He received a kite from the next door neighbor that says there's this plan to kill you. So he was moved to this PC protective custody. Right after that, I think he was transferred to a more peaceful facility away from that facility he had troubles with. But it must have been a tough time for him too, because please imagine under such conditions where everybody seems to be enemies to you. You can't sleep tight. You can never relax at the chow hall, and even when you're walking and taking showers, you got to be on guard, and that wears you out. So I think it was the right decision for him to be moved and transferred to some other prison. And from a letter from that new prison, he said this place is too safe and too boring, and I laughed at the letter reading it. But anyway, he used to tell me, I really love kids. He has a daughter too, who is now teenagers, and he said he feels bad to miss her birthday. But anyway, he told me he loves teaching things to young kids. So indeed, I want to be a teacher like you, Dr. Samurai. And I think I sent a couple of books before about how to teach and stuff. And in recent communication by email, he said right now he is in the process of appealing with this new attorney that he paid for. So he kind of not sounded, but you feel some feelings from the way he writes. He kind of sounded positive. Might possibly he could cut the sentence a bit shorter, and I hope things go well with his future because he's still young. But this is it about Mr. Futo Chow's top 6 leader. I hope I gave you something important, interesting to deepen your thought into your life. And until next time, please have a wonderful time. Okay? Bye bye now.